If I say I am going out, it is the exact words I am using. But I have to tell that she is going out. I am talking about her, isn't it? If this is in simple present or simple future, here you will not make any changes. Means you are going to change the pronouns, but I am talking about the verbs. Decorated has only two forms of verbs, V2 and V3 both are same. Whenever you don't have V2 and V3 same, whenever they both are different, you need to pay little attention. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Shalini, Professor of English, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Today we are here to understand one of the language component parts prescribed by University of Mysuru for 4th Sem B.C.A. We are going to understand about direct and indirect speech today. We are going to understand about direct and indirect speech here. I'll just introduce you to what is direct speech and what is indirect speech. We will understand the meaning of direct and indirect speech. Next, we will also understand the rules for changing from direct to indirect speech, and under the rules we are going to understand about the change in tenses while changing from direct to indirect. So this comes in the first part of this language component. So let us now move into the introduction. So here you can read a conversation between two people. The first person says, "Mom, what happened to the king?" Probably a child is asking her mom about some story or something. "Mom, what happened to the king?" "The king was very happy and lived happily with his queen." So mom is replying here. Okay, so there is a question here, there is an answer here. Okay, similarly, the second sentence here, "What did your teacher say?" "He ordered me to go back to my place and not to play pranks." So here also there is a question and there is an answer here. Fine. So what did you notice between these two conversations? So I'll tell you what it is. So here you can just see in the first set of conversation, "Mom, what happened to the king?" "The king was very happy and lived happily with his queen." Okay. So here you can see that there is inverted comma here. Okay, so there is inverted comma and here also you can notice that. So you can understand that this is some dialogue that is happening here. Fine. So since this is a dialogue, you can say you are quoting the actual words of the speaker. Means what the speaker is telling, the same words are being used here in order to tell it to the listener. Fine. So this means since you are quoting the direct words of the speaker, this is said to be in direct speech. Direct speech is that which has the exact words of the speaker. Okay, so the individual who is speaking, the exact words are quoted here in direct speech. Fine. So you can go to the next set of conversation here. "He ordered me to go back to my seat and not to play pranks in the class." So here the person who is talking about somebody else who has told something else. Okay. "He ordered me to go back" means I'm not talking to a person directly. I'm talking about somebody else who has already done the conversation. Okay. So I'm talking to this person who is in front of me and telling that person that he ordered me. So I'm talking about somebody else here. I'm talking about a third person. Fine. I'm not quoting the exact words of the speaker. Okay. How do I know I'm not quoting the exact words of the speaker? I do not have inverted comma here. So this quotation marks which are there, okay, they show that it is the actual dialogue. But here quotation mark is not there. Fine. The speaker who would have told this not to go back to the seat and all, no. So he would not have used such words. Fine. If at all I'm telling you to go back to your seat, not to play pranks, I don't use those words. I would have told you go back to your place, do not play pranks. I would have used an imperative sentence, isn't it? So the verb form also will not be like this. Fine. So these are not the exact words of the speaker. Okay. So here you can see he said to me, "I am going to the market." But here you can note the difference. Here there is inverted comma here. Okay. So these are the exact words of the speaker. So you can know the difference between these two. Fine. So this is said to be in indirect speech because you are not quoting the exact words of the speaker here. Fine. So now you got to know how you write direct and indirect speech here. Fine. So we'll now understand what is direct speech, what is indirect speech, the meaning of direct and indirect speech. So direct speech is something which is put in quotation marks or within inverted commas here. Inverted commas are these. Okay, so these inverted commas, they show us that they are the exact words of the speaker. That is a dialogue that you are speaking. The first word of the direct speech begins with a capital letter. Yes, the first word of the direct speech. That means when we write it within inverted commas, it begins with a capital letter. Let us go back to the slide and check that. So here you can see it begins with a capital letter, isn't it? In the previous slide also you can see mom, the. Okay, so all these begin with capital letter. This shows that direct speech, whenever you're writing within inverted commas, it has to begin with a capital letter. So that is the rule over here. Fine. The actual words are separated by a comma from the reporting verb. So which is the reporting verb here? Let me write a dialogue. So here you can write, she said. I am writing it within the inverted commas. I am going out. Okay, this is just an example I am taking. I am going out. These are the actual words of the speaker here. So whatever you find here, just before this comma, whatever you find here, this is called as the reporting verb. Okay, this is called as the reporting verb, and reporting verb and the actual words of the speaker, they are separated by a comma here. Fine. So whenever you want to identify which are the actual words of the speaker, just look for the comma. After that, you will have inverted commas, and within inverted commas, whatever is there, that will come under the actual words of the speaker. Fine. So this is separated by an inverted comma. So these are the rules for a dialogue to be in direct speech. Okay. So next we'll understand what is indirect speech. So whenever it comes to indirect speech, it is just the opposite of it. So what does this opposite mean? So inverted commas are not used here. Fine, inverted commas are not used here, but the reported speech is generally introduced by the conjunction that. So that replaces a comma there. Fine, I'll give you an example. So this comma is replaced by that. The tense of the reporting verb is never changed. Fine, the tense of the reporting verb is never changed. So let me just tell you the previous dialogue what we saw. She said, I am going out. Fine, how do you write it in reported speech? She said. I said comma is replaced by that. So instead of comma, I am writing she said that. Fine. If I say I am going out, it is the exact words I am using. But I have to tell that she is going out. I am talking about her, isn't it? So I say it as she is going out. Okay. Whatever is there inside the inverted commas, please do not pay attention to that now, because there are some rules that have to be used. Okay. So here, whatever is the reporting verb, fine, that will not be changed at all. Fine. If it is said only. You do not write as says. If it is says, you write it as says only. You will not change it to said. Fine. Whatever is the reporting verb, you are not going to change it. Okay. So this is the rule when you change from direct to indirect speech. So here the tense of reporting verb is never changed, and punctuation marks are not at all used. Other than full stop, there is no punctuation mark that is used in the reported speech or indirect speech. Until and unless there is a list of items, use a comma. Only if there is a list of items, you use a comma. Other than that, you will not use a comma. Even after said, before, like when you are writing it in direct speech, you use a comma here, right? So in a reported speech, you will not use a comma. Okay, so only full stop in the end is the only punctuation mark you use when you are changing from direct to indirect speech. So this is the basic rule you have to understand when you change from direct to indirect. Other than this, there are few more rules that you have to understand. So let us understand with few examples here. So you can see over here, there are two dialogues. Okay, one is indirect, the other one is indirect. Sita said, I want to complete my work. So here, this I refers to Sita, that is the speaker. Fine. This is in past tense. Okay. Sita said. This is the reporting verb here. Said is the reporting verb. I want to complete my work. So I refers to Sita. My also refers to Sita. Fine. How do you change it to indirect speech? Sita said that. So I am replacing that comma by that. Fine. So comma should be replaced by that. It's already a rule, and you will remove this inverted commas. Okay. So here Sita said that she, because in I is referring to Sita. Sita is a feminine gender. So you are writing she. Fine. She wanted to complete her work. You cannot write my work. Why will Sita complete my work? Until and unless she is helping me. But here it is Sita wants to complete her work. Isn't it? So here you are using it as her. Okay. My is changed to her. So there will be change in these pronouns also, depending upon the gender and number of the speaker. Okay. So here you can see comma is removed, inverted comma is removed, only full stop is used in the end. So here in indirect speech, I refers to Sita, thus it changes to she because it's a feminine gender in indirect speech. Hope you understood this. Okay, let us see another example here. The student said, we want to go to the library tomorrow. So here, we refers to students. Reporting verb is said. Fine, you need to concentrate on reporting verb also. Okay, so in indirect speech, when you change this to indirect speech, the student said that, so comma is replaced by that. They wanted to go to, we are not talking about we wanted to go to, we are talking about the students. We are talking about somebody else who is not here in our conversation. Fine, so they wanted to go to the library. So I am using they. Since it is plural, students is plural, we are using they. So depending upon the speaker, gender and number, the pronouns also will change. So in indirect speech, students are referred to as they over here. Fine. So these are few examples. The basic rules I am telling you. The first rule you had to learn was to replace these punctuation marks. Okay. The second rule what you learned is there will be change in pronouns also. The third rule, which is very important, is to change the tenses. So what are the changes in tenses that will happen? You already know that there are 12 tenses, isn't it? Simple, past, simple, present, simple, future. These three tenses. Then continuous will come, past continuous, present continuous, future continuous. Then perfect tense will be there, past perfect, present perfect, future perfect. Then you also have perfect continuous tenses, past perfect continuous, present perfect continuous, future perfect continuous. Okay, so altogether there are 12 tenses. So here you need to concentrate on few tenses which will undergo some changes when you are changing from direct to indirect speech. Let us have a look at the tenses here. Well, let us start from this one, the present tense. Okay, if the reporting verb is in the present or future tense. Remember, I am talking about the reporting verb, means this one. I am talking about this one. Suppose that is in present or future. What do you mean by present or future? You are talking about simple present and simple future. Okay, whenever I am talking about simply present and future, I am not using any continuous, perfect or anything. You are talking about simple tenses only. Okay, so if it is in simple present or simple future, there is no change in the tense of the verb in indirect speech. That means if this is in simple present or simple future, here you will not make any changes. Means you are going to change the pronouns, but I am talking about the verbs. Okay, there will be no change in the verbs inside the inverted commas. So how do you do that? They will say, yes, comma will be replaced by that. We are not talking about us, we are talking about somebody else. Okay, so here they did not quarrel. So this one I am not changing. The verb of the word, the verb, the tense of the verb inside the inverted comma is not changing here. They did not quarrel. Fine. So this is in simple present. So this is not changing. They will say that they did not quarrel. Fine. So this is how you change from direct to indirect if the reporting verb is in simple present or simple future. Okay, let us go further. If the reporting verb, I am talking only about reporting verb, be careful. Reporting verb is in the past tense. Fine. All the present tenses of direct speech are changed to the corresponding past tenses. Means if it is simple present, it will change to simple past. Present continuous, it will change to past continuous. So this way, it is going to change to corresponding past tenses. So let us understand this with examples here. So he said, this is in past tense. In the previous example, you saw it was in simple present. So that means inside one will not change. If this is in past tense, he said it is in past tense. So inside one will change when you change it to indirect speech. Okay. So this is in direct speech, this is in simple past. He said that. So comma is replaced by that. So here I is referring to he. Okay. So here he agreed. You can see here. This is in simple present, but since this is in past tense, this also will change to past tense. So this also will change to past tense. And which past tense is it changing? This is in simple present. Okay, that will change to simple past. Okay, that is what is told. Simple present will change to simple past. Fine. Now, if it is in present continuous, it will change to past continuous. How is it? He said, this is in simple past. Okay, this is in past tense, so inside one will change. Fine. We are playing. Are is in present tense. Playing shows it is in continuous tense. Okay, so here they said that, so comma is replaced by that. You are removing the inverted commas. Then they were playing in the park. So are is changed to were. That is from present tense to past tense. Okay, so this is how you change it from present continuous to past continuous to indirect speech. Fine. Only if the reporting verb is in past tense, you need to worry. If it is in simple present, you need not have to worry. Just close your eyes, change the pronouns and write the tense as it is. The verb will be written as it is. Okay, so let us move on to the next tense type, that is present perfect. Under present tense, we have two more types. Fine, we have present perfect, that will change to past perfect. As I said, all the present tenses will change to the corresponding past tenses. Similarly, here present perfect will change to past perfect. So how do we do it? He said reporting verb is in past tense, so that is retained as it is. Since this is in past tense, inside one will change. How do you identify it as in present perfect? Have shows it is in present tense, made is in perfect tense. Okay, have, made. You know, right? Whenever it is present perfect, okay, this rule holds good, like has or have, depending on the number of the subject. Okay, if it is singular, it is has. If it is plural, it is have. But I, it is different. Okay, with I, it is always have. Fine. Then the V3 form of the verb. What is V3 form of the verb? Write, wrote, written. So that written is the third form of the verb. Few verbs, it is V2, V3 is same. But few verbs, V2 and V3 are different. For irregular verbs, V2 and V3 are different. Fine. So here, let us understand. Have made shows that it is present perfect tense. So here it will change to had made. Have is changed to had. This I refers to he, so here I have used he. Fine. He said that he had made a mistake. I have made a mistake. He had made a mistake. Okay, so have will change to had. Fine. If there it is has, then also it will change to had only. Okay. Suppose he says that he said she has made a mistake, then here it will be she had made a mistake. Okay. Even if it is has or have, whatever it is. Okay, present perfect will change to past perfect. Have or has, it will change to had only. Okay, in past tense, that is in had, you don't have any plural or singular differentiation. Okay, so only in present tense you have the differentiation. Fine. So now let us move on to perfect continuous tense, that is present perfect continuous. It will change to past perfect continuous. So how do you do it here? Simon said that I have been working here for a long time. So this have been working, it shows present perfect continuous tense. So this will change to had been working. Okay, so this will change to had been working only because this is in past tense. Okay, that is in past tense. So that will change to past perfect continuous tense. Okay, so let us now move on to the next tense part. That is, if the reporting verb is in the past tense, then the direct speech may be turned into past perfect. Okay, so if it is already in simple past, means this is already in simple past. Here, this also is in simple past. All this while we saw simple present, present continuous like this. Whatever is inside the inverted comma, we saw it in present tense. Now, whatever is inside the inverted comma, we are checking if it is in past tense or not. Okay. So, these tenses change only depending on this. If reporting verb is past, then this also will have to change. Fine. So, now we are checking the ones which are there in past tense inside the inverted comma. Okay, so here it is in past tense already. So here you can see this is also in simple past, that will change to past perfect. I mean to say Jack said past tense, comma replaced by that, removing this inverted comma. This I refers to Jack, which is a male person. So inside I have to use a male personal pronoun here. So it is he. Now decorated already in simple past, this will change to had decorated. Okay, so decorated will change to had decorated. Whatever is the past tense, just add had and then put it. Fine. Suppose this verb what you are using here has a V3 form of the verb. For example, I am telling you, suppose it was whatever is inside the inverted comma, I wrote a letter. Okay, suppose it would have been like this. Okay, so I'm talking about this part only. Okay, if it was I wrote a letter, then it would have been I had not wrote, it is written. That is because write has 3 forms of verbs. Okay, V1 is write, then V2 is wrote, then V3 is written. Okay, so whenever you are changing from present perfect to past perfect, you need to use this form of the verb only. So that is what I am using here, decorated. Decorated has only 2 forms of verbs, V2 and V3 both are same. Whenever you don't have V2 and V3 same, whenever they both are different, you need to pay little attention. Fine. So here it is had and V3 form of the verb. So whenever you are writing, you have to write about V3 form of the verb only. Let us now move on to past continuous. It will change to past perfect continuous. How do you do it? Mom said to me. So this to me is an extra thing. That is, there is another speaker also, but that's fine. You can include it as it is. I was planning. So this is past continuous. So this will change to past perfect continuous. So because you are changing it, whatever is there in past tense will change to perfect tenses. You need to add perfect tense over there. So how do you do it? Was planning will change to past perfect continuous. Form is had plus perfect continuous. It is been. You need to add been. Okay. Then verb in ing form. So how do you do it? This is the structure of past perfect continuous. So here mom said to me that had been planning. Okay, so she had been planning. So here had been and verb in the form of ing. So this is how you change from past continuous to past perfect continuous. So next tense, what is it? It is past perfect and past perfect continuous. If at all the sentences are already there in past perfect and past perfect continuous, what will happen? They remain unchanged. So you cannot change it to any other form of the tense. You just have to keep it in your mind that whatever is there inside the inverted comma, that has to shift one tense before. Fine. Before this, there are no tenses. That is the last tense what you have. So it cannot be changed at all. Let me tell you how it is. The structure of past perfect continuous, that is had eaten. Okay. If it was past, you would have changed it to past perfect. But it is already there in past perfect. So how do you change it? That will remain unchanged. That means you have to write it as it is. You have to change it to indirect speech. How do you change it? This pronouns and all that will change. But only the tenses will not change. Jimmy said that this I refers to Jimmy. Okay, so he had eaten a lot. So this had eaten is retained as it is. Even in indirect speech, it is retained as it is. Let us go to the next one. Nora said, I had been singing. Past perfect continuous tense. So here also it is retained as it is. But whatever pronouns change should be there, that is done. Whatever punctuation has to be removed, that is also done. Okay, only a full stop in the end. So whatever basic rules you have to follow, that is the basic changes you have to do, that you have to do over here. But only thing is the tenses, whatever is inside the inverted comma, that will stay as it is. Okay, so these were the basic rules for tenses, the pronouns and the punctuations that you have to follow whenever you are changing from direct to indirect speech. So this was the first part of this lecture. In the second part, we are going to understand how to change from one type of sentence to other type of sentence. That is, you have different types of sentences, right? You have interrogative sentences, assertive sentences, then you have imperative sentences and exclamatory sentences. So how do you change these types of sentences to other forms of sentences in indirect speech? So this is what we are going to learn in our next session. Okay, so please master these rules in order to earn your 4 to 5 marks in your exam. So take care, children. See you soon in another more interesting topic. Keep learning. Take care. Bye-bye.